Good evening everyone. I'm Nikita from Group 6. Me, along with my friends Rajkumar and Anand, are going to present our final project today, that is, a study on analyzing trust factors to establish trustworthiness in autonomous vehicles. Automation is a term for technological applications where human input is minimized, whereas artificial intelligence is a simulation of human intelligence processed by machines, especially computer systems. So, automation based on artificial intelligence is a field that is fast developing and has many uses in different industries. In this project, we focus on the self-driving cars, popularly renowned as autonomous cars. These cars are capable of sensing their environment with the help of a variety of sensors such as radar, GPS, thermographic cameras, and can navigate safely with little or no human input at all. As we can see, there are many inventions and discoveries in this field. Also, several problems like trust issues, accidents, and functional failures made public lose confidence in these autonomous vehicles. So, what we need to do to re-establish this trust? Trust basically acts as a link between humans and machines. Therefore, there are some strategies for increasing trust in driverless capabilities are required to speed up user acceptance. Hence, we have discussed some trust principles and used general model of trust to mitigate trust issues which mainly uses the AI mechanisms. Autonomous driving. Symbolizing the development and success of AI, the autonomous vehicle technology has climbed to the fore of scientific and technological advancement, and they are essential in improving the vehicular traffic. But why people don't trust AVs? In March 2018, an Uber vehicle operated in autonomous mode killed a pedestrian, and in December 2017, a motorcyclist crashed into Chevrolet Bolt being driven by a self-driving mode. Both of these cases have raised questions about fault for autonomous vehicle crashes. They also raise issues regarding the safety standards. Also, according to a source, nearly 400 crashes have been caused by AVs involved in partial autonomous system, and such incidents cause severe damage and loss of lives. Therefore, people are scared to trust these systems as safety was given the utmost importance. Real-time functioning of autonomous vehicles. With the help of AI algorithms, a car can travel to various locations using the sensor collected information and perform critical decisions such as lane detection, automatic speed control without any human intervention. As we can see, there are various phases involved in development of these autonomous vehicles. Level 0, also known as the zero automation level, where the driver is only responsible for the whole act and the system may or may not involve just to give some signs or warnings. Level 1. In this case, the properties are shared by both driver and the system, whereas the system is limited to perform only one task at a time. Level 2 is also known as the hands-off level, where the system takes control over the steering and other activities, but the driver should also be prepared in case the system fails to respond, such as stopping the vehicle when a pedestrian is crossing the road even when the signal is red. In this case, the driver can use his phone or laptop where he can take his hands off the steering. Level 3, also known as the conditional automation, as it requires human monitoring but the system can completely take care of the car. Level 4, physical human presence is still required in this level. Finally, the level 5. This level is known as fully autonomous stage as no amount of human attention or presence is physically required. In all the circumstances, a system will perform tasks properly and can be able to handle decision making with the help of AI. Implementation of AI in autonomous vehicles. Artificial intelligence is implemented in these systems to convert semi-automated to fully automated vehicles and in the process of developing more level 4 and 5 vehicles. There are certain factors involved in the decision-making process of this system: data extraction and infotainment system, cloud storage, and AI functionality. In the initial stage, the data is collected from all the sensors and stored in the cloud platform with the help of communication systems and AI algorithms. Further, an intelligence system that uses AI algorithms such as CNN will be able to detect pictures and process them into pixels. And so, if any similar situation is encountered, this cloud sends the memory where the system recalls what needs to be done and hence the safety is assured. Finally, the responsibility to reach the destination safely is in the hands of these AI features. Whenever the data is collected, these AI features like voice recognition, cameras, and other radar sensors will get activated and process the task perfectly. Next, coming to the challenges that arise trust issues in these autonomous vehicles. Privacy. Security is the most serious concern with autonomous vehicles, as there are several computer devices and connections occurring from the car to other vehicles or various components within the vehicle itself. Technical or functional issues. These vehicles depend majorly on their equipment and technical parts like sensors, detection, and camera. So, in case of improper functioning of any of these components, there should be a way to effectively communicate the loss and be able to detect any tiny glitch in the components of the system. Especially during the extreme weather conditions like blizzards or heavy snowfall, these vehicles will not function properly and result in the sensor failures. Ethical issues. Ethical issues are a major concern because in most of the cases, these systems may not be able to react as humans and can't make any decision accurately. Although with the use of many AI algorithms, whenever a new situation is encountered, there's still a chance where they can't respond properly and may use the human help. Loss of opportunities. As these fully autonomous vehicles comes into use, the workers of human drivers or taxi companies like Uber, Ola are laid off, and this will also affect the growth of country's economy. Further information regarding trust principles and other factors will be explained by my friend Rajkumar.
Thank you, Nikta. So, because of the exponential rise in technology and competition in recent years, uh, the usage of these AVs started increasing gradually. And to be accepted by the end users and market, these AVs need to fulfill various factors, in which trust is one of the important factors. And as this system started developing and became more sophisticated, the concept of trust in human autonomous interaction becomes a key issue, which influences the performance of both humans and machines. And according to the studies, we can also say that managing and developing mutual trust is one of the key obstacles for the effective integration of advanced autonomous systems and artificial intelligence technologies in the society. Also, humans have a low level of trust in semi-autonomous systems and fully autonomous systems. Before going into the trust principles and general model for trust decisions, let's have a look into some constructs which are affecting trust in these systems, and they are algorithm transparency, level of automation, brand, and safety engineering. Among these four, algorithm transparency has the highest degree of influence in trust because of the machine learning algorithms which are used by these autonomous vehicles in taking their decisions. And the next thing is brand or the organization reputation matters a lot when it comes to taking the trust, when it comes to trusting a product. And now let's discuss about few trust principles in the next slide. Jaibo discussed the challenges and trust affecting factors can be addressed with the help of few trust principles. They are trust as risk taking or gambling, trust as confidence, and trust as faith. But these trust principles may not work well when it comes to taking the decisions based upon subjective and situational trustworthiness. Uh, so to do that, we are using a general model for trust decisions, which is proposed by Stephen Mars and Peter Lewis, and they used their model uh, on a rock, like what it is like to trust a rock, and we are using this general model for making the trust decisions on our autonomous systems. And let's see a bit more detail about this model and the features of this model. The above discussed trust principles may not work well when it comes to take the judgment on the situational or subject to trustworthiness, but this model, the general trust model, describes the subjective and situational trustworthiness decisions based upon the four trustworthiness features that are competence, predictability, honesty and integrity, willingness and benevolence, along with proxy trust decisions. And this model is general because it applies uh, not only to trust between peers, but the use of trust decision heuristic in any situation. So let's see about these features a bit more detail in upcoming slides. Competence is considered as one of the major factors in establishing trust among different parties. It's all about the ability of the trustee to perform the assigned task. The only way to measure the competence factor is by knowing the ability and evidence to achieve the assigned challenge. As per the researchers, there is a black box and white box type of trustworthiness. In black box, the question is, has the trustee performed such a task before, and does it have any performance issues? And in this case, it all depends upon the experience and the ability is assessed. In the case of white box test, the evidence is skills, training, and knowledge to perform the assigned activity. And here the question type is, do they have the required understanding to carry out this task, or the machine tool sufficient to handle the task? In autonomous vehicles, if we consider the ethical issue as a concern, Tesla cars have encountered various threats and failed in past, causing accidents and damage. Hence, we need proper evidence to regain the trust in these vehicles. For example, uh, these automated systems were responsible for causing death as it cannot take an ethical decision when encountered by a human crossing the road and the red signal, as it's just a machine we could not think in such a situation. As the level 4 and 5 automation were processed, the machine, uh, with the help of sophisticated high-level algorithms which are able to overcome the defect, and also with the experience of what to do in such hypothetical situations, and decision-making capabilities were improved. If we consider the brand and organization as a factor of trust in such systems, there is a time when the top reputed brand also failed and ended up losing trust among people. But if we consider the evidence and competence levels among distinct brands, people will choose the same brand because of its because of its history and its efficient product making ability. Thus, competence serves as a trust as a principal factor in reassuring trust and can be applied to these automated systems. Predictability. Predictability explains the dependence and or reliability of a trustee's decision making or behavior. A researcher also defined it as predictability means one's actions are consistent enough to that other can forecast what one will do in a given situation. I mean, the same way, the potential truster should be aware of what decision the system is going to take in a particular situation, even if the output was unexpected, and the truster should know to determine the features which caused this uncertainty. If we consider privacy issues as a concern, both competence and predictability will help in reassuring trust, because security in autonomous vehicles is considered crucial as it deals with user confidential information and can track location or any other details easily. Hackers always try to enter the system and they always try to inject the malware and cause serious attacks. But the ability to identify the attacker and detect the problem early is one of the behaviors of these AVs, which is considered as competence. In other way, when an hacker tries to inject the malware into the system, how the system reacts to it, considering the sensor information is obtained from the cloud, and similar circumstances trained by AI algorithms helps to predict the output of the system and is useful in eradicating such dangers. So, thus, we can say that predictability also serves as a principal factor in reassuring trust and can be applied in these automated systems, and the remaining uh, remaining situational factors and subjective factors will be explained by my friend Anant.
Thank you, Rajkumar. And the next factor is willingness and benevolence. This feature helps in making trustworthy decisions based on the situation. Willingness is when an AV is performing the task for which it is already programmed. And the question arises, will it change its own requirement? As it like, will it override its own command? Like if driver wants to change a lane in traffic or exit or like move to another lane. which is not recognized by AV, but it is willing to change the lane. And the benevolence means vehicle should know that it is the act should be performed by the AV, even though sometimes it is against the policy and the rules and the regulation. Ultimately, they should take the end decision in the favor of the person who is driving that vehicle. Next is honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity in AV means at first, it should have a valid policy or agreement, and this agreement should have a valid purpose. And there should be a possibility or a room for a change in the agreement if it is needed. For this, there are factors which should be considered under the honesty, which will help us to get the clear idea whether to trust a AI-based AV solution or not. These factors are like, what if the user who is using the AV breaks the agreement? Is it okay? What is the strength of this agreement? And there are like any chance that this agreement can use for cheating the person who trusts it. Like for example, like automatic cruise control in Range Rover, which will not allow user to change the lane, even if it is an emergency. But user here has a capability like it disables automatic cruise control, and now AV will work the way he wants. Next is proxy of trust. It is a subjective factor, not like previous situation-based factors. It can be defined as someone who cannot trust the AV solution, but can trust the organization where that solution is developed, and what kind of regulations are inside at that organizations, which makes you trust AV solution more. And the last here is entanglement and meta features. Elements of credibility are linked. A high level of proficiency in demonstrating the conceptual components also provide the truster with the white box knowledge. If the beneficiary can create a predictive model of the trustee behavior in the context of other characteristics, this provides her some black box knowledge about the feature as well. Using this approach, one can gain more trust in AI-enabled AV solutions because it emphasizes not only on the behavior of the trustee, but also its trustworthiness in specific situation. To conclude, in this report, we have highlighted the issue that current AI-enabled AV solution faces, like privacy concerns, decision making, and we have discussed the dimensions like quality of software, collaboration of human and machines, and the assurance on which trust develop for any technical solution. Using the trust model suggested by Dr. Mars and Dr. Lewis, we have discussed the explainable AI in AV and how it can be used to develop trust in AV solutions while using the factors like competence, predictability, willingness, benevolence, honesty and integrity, and other subject factors as well. The explainable AI made the use of AV very easy because its decisions are transparent. And it would be nice, like along with it, if we include these situational factors and the subjective factors, then there will be more trust on AVs. These are the references which we have used in our report. Thank you. And house is open for the Q&A.